Have you been repeatedly rejected or disappointed in your entire life? Well, Colonel Sanders, the creator of KFC, certainly did. But instead of whining, he took his failure and turned it into a success story. Hi, welcome to Epic Story, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. So, subscribe to get inspired. In this video, we will explore the success story of KFC and how it became such a famous brand. KFC's success story is an excellent source of inspiration for anyone considering starting a business. It doesn't matter if you're 20 or 60 years old. It's never too late. This amazing success story has some valuable lessons for those who have thought of giving up their dream. This is an inspirational success story of a businessman who built his company from the ground up and set a fantastic example of determination, passion, and dedication, the company known today as KFC. But it didn't happen overnight. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, was a man whose entire life had been filled with adversity. But Colonel Sanders accepted his failures as a challenge and used his strong willpower to turn them into possibilities. Harlan David Sanders was born on September 9, 1890, in Henryville, Indiana. It must be said that Sanders' childhood was tough. He grew up in a poor family. He was the oldest child in his family. The problems began when the father of Harlan Sanders suddenly died when he was only 6 years old. After his father died, Sanders became responsible for feeding and taking care of his younger brother and sister. When he was 12, his mother remarried, and Sanders escaped from home because his stepfather beat him. He dropped out of school in 7th grade. Holding onto a job was a struggle for the young Sanders. He'd failed in every profession he'd ever tried before, whether it was as a lawyer or a salesperson. He got fired from everywhere. At age 20, his wife left him and took their baby because he got fired so much. Sanders was 40 years old when he operated a service station in Kentucky where he served hungry travelers. In his spare time, he used to prepare his recipes and sell them to people in front of the gas station, which he had transformed into a small restaurant. The location became well known for its food. It quickly became famous. As a result, an argument with a competitor led to a deadly shootout when he began to market his secret recipe. For years later, he bought a motel, which burned down along with his restaurant. Yet, this determined guy rebuilt and started a new motel until World War II forced him to shut it down. At age 65, he retired. His primary source of income at the time was a $105 monthly Social Security check. He felt like a failure and decided to commit suicide. For a while, he was jobless and broke. He became a tough guy as a result of his challenging circumstances. Sanders then determined that he would not settle for a quiet retirement. To increase his income, he tried to franchise his secret recipe. But Sanders' Kentucky Fried Chicken recipe was rejected 1,009 times before he was able to market it successfully. He never gave up because he was confident in his unique formula and taste. His first franchise sale went to Pete Harmon, who owned a restaurant in Salt Lake City. He was always thinking about extending his production process and meeting client demands. He visited numerous restaurants and demonstrated his fried chicken recipe to the restaurant owners to expand his business. He sometimes slept in the back of his car while visiting restaurants to sell the franchise. By 1963, almost 600 restaurants agreed to sell the recipe, and Kentucky Fried Chicken became a brand. Sanders finally made it big after years of failures and misfortunes. KFC expanded globally, and he sold the corporation for $2 million. Sanders died from pneumonia at the age of 90. Until his death in 1980, Colonel Sanders traveled 250,000 miles a year, visiting KFC restaurants and promoting the brand in the media. Today, KFC is the world's best fried chicken restaurant. He's known in 145 countries for his famous fried chicken recipe. KFC has grown from a backroom in a fuel station in the middle of nowhere to become the world's #1 fast food restaurant chain. Don't be afraid to start small. As long as you get started and work hard, progression will come. Make the most of what you have. The Colonel's tale is incredibly remarkable and gives others hope who believe it's too late. Colonel Sanders did not achieve remarkable success until he was in his 60s. He didn't franchise Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was 62 and didn't become a legend until he was 75. The lesson we learned from KFC and Colonel Sanders is that success is achievable at any age. At the age of 75, he was just getting started. Age is just a number when you're aiming for success. It's never too late to dream. Colonel Sanders had a tough life. He must have experienced many rejections. But that didn't stop him. He kept moving forward. Failure happens to all of us. The most successful entrepreneurs and public figures all have a familiar pattern. They are persistent, resilient, and unstoppable in pursuing their goals despite whatever obstacles may come. Their success is not by accident. They all have faced challenges, difficulties, and struggles, but giving up was never an option. Remember Harlan Sanders' story if you're overwhelmed by failures or discouraged by losses. He still built one of the largest fast food restaurants despite being fired from many jobs, ruining his every profession, and being pushed back by the Great Depression, fires, and World War II. Sanders would not be defeated by anything or anyone. We all need to be more like Colonel Sanders. You're not helpless in the face of these rejections. You need to be patient and not give up when things get rough. Your resilience will only grow more vital if you persevere and show the world what you're made of. If you never fail, it's most likely because you never tried. If you find yourself in a difficult situation, don't worry, there is always a way out. We should learn from our failures. We should learn from our mistakes. And keep going forward. Always believe in yourself. We believe that everyone has a story to tell. So, what's your story? Are you ready to start your journey? Here you can learn from fellow entrepreneurs about their journeys. We'll motivate and inspire you, but you'll have to do the rest of the work. Subscribe to stay motivated and discover the story of your life.